Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. How are you doing? Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm doing my best to keep you abreast of everything that's going on in the world that is reality TV and trending topics. And I thought it's been a minute since we talked about 90 Day Fiancé, and I noticed on Instagram there are two couples that had formerly split up that are looking pretty cozy these days. And I thought, let's talk about it. So one of my favorites, or lack of favorites, or the most train wreckiest, Ashley and Jay. Yeah, that's right, Ashley and Jay, the couple that has been together and apart and together and apart. Remember last year where she was in the process of getting a divorce, and he ended up she had him put away to the clinky clink because she got an RO against him, and then he went out and she was accusing him of all kinds of things, like doing the hokey pokey and planting seeds and stuff in other ladies. And then she was talking about how they got back together, and then they were not together. Well, look at this. She was on Instagram and she posted this video. So Jay's back in the house, you guys. So apparently they are, here's the photo. Or here's the video. So I guess, round 57 of these two. Ashley's 33, Jay is 22. He is from Jamaica. She is a mother of two children. And she has been pretty all over the place when it comes to Jay. According to E! Online, they said a source told them that they are back together and they're trying to make it work out. Ashley wasn't happy without Jay, and she's trying to make it work, and he is manning up about his behavior and more. And they rekindled things over the last week, so they are planning on staying together through the specified time in which we cannot leave our homes, let's just say. It's interesting though, right? Like, one of their issues is that Jay can't keep his pokey in his pants. And there's been lots of issues related to, Ashley being 11 years older and having, wants and needs related to Jay that he's just not ready for at a maturity place. She brought him to the United States when he was 20, maybe. And this 11-year age difference has always been questionable. But she seems like, I hate to say this, almost sort of addicted to him. Not in a good way. Because it was only earlier this year that she was posting on Instagram a photo of her crying. Yeah, that's right, crying. And she said, she put on the photo that she then deleted, she wrote, "I just want men and women to both know it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to cry it out. It's okay to not be strong all the time. It's okay to fail. What's not okay is to let it destroy you. To this day, I still hurt. I still love him. I just have to come to terms with the fact that it's over and I'm going to be okay." And she wrote, "At this time," she said, "there is no more Ashley and Jay. I'm leaving the past with the final time I speak on us or our marriage. It's about to be a new year, and I'm ready to start a new chapter and not look back." Well, I guess that didn't work. So in the beginning of the year, she said that they were done. She wasn't going to look back. It was over. And now it appears that they are back together. It'll be interesting to see how long this lasts. I give it maybe a month, maybe two. These two get back together and then break up so many times I can't even see straight. And generally, it always comes back to the fact that she can't stand that he is always DMing other people. He can't keep his pokey in his pants. And she expects him to be 33 years old like her when he's only 22. I don't know how those things are going to change because Jay doesn't seem like to stay monogamous. But there's that. And then on to another couple that I covered. So Tiffany and Ronald. Yes, Tiffany and Ronald from 90 Day the Other Way. Tiffany, who is from the United States, Ronald, who's from South Africa. They actually got married. They actually had a very public split on Instagram a couple of months ago. And she actually provided me some videos and evidence where she believed that Ronald was not being truthful with her. She had said that he had spent the new year at a friend's house and was not didn't tell her where he was. She says he was hanging out with ladies. He said he was hanging out with a friend that was a guy. There was this planned trip for her to go to South Africa, and all of that was up in the air because she claimed on Instagram that she was going to get a divorce, and then he subsequently like accused her of like not filing the paperwork in the United States for him to become a spouse, and it was just a lot of back and forth, mudslinging, you did this, you did that, to which he eventually like ended up apologizing to her and saying that he felt bad for the way that he said, like anything that he said. He claimed that she was a really good mother and that, you know, she was actually a saint for putting up with him, and he had sort of said these things in anger. Well, people on Instagram had noticed that Tiffany and Ronald had been posting photos together, so obviously it seems as though her visit to him began. And only about a week ago, she was actually posting on whether or not she would be able to return to the United States, given the fact of what's going on in the world right now. Well, then people started asking her questions because she was in South Africa. She was posting photos with Ronald. Like, what's going on? Are you together? Are you not together? Like, he has a daughter with her. So clearly, like, she still went to her for her planned trip in February. And when I last spoke with her, she said, we're not together, but we're not separated. And then today she updated on Instagram this and said, so I'm going to address the situation with Ronald and I, and I'm sorry everything was so public when things got really bad. We both regret doing that and feel quite embarrassed. She said, it is very confusing time for us, for the both of us, but the love is there and the love is real. Whether anyone thinks that's right or wrong has nothing to do with the decision we will make moving forward. We are treading lightly and we are putting in the work to get out of the rut that we were in. It's been a confusing couple of months and we might not know what the future holds, but we both hope to fight for our marriage and spend the rest of our lives together. Thank you guys for your kind words, and I appreciate all the advice. Things are not perfect and they are not anywhere near where we would want them to be, but to answer everyone's messages and comments, we are not divorced and we are not separated. There is a lot, and I mean a lot, that you guys don't know, and we learned the hard way. It's not always best to hash it out in public. More importantly, I want to wish everyone health and happiness. Please stay indoors and keep your loved ones safe. Well, that's good. I mean, I guess. This was actually a very short-lived split, and I don't really know that. It seems to be when I actually spoke to both of them, because Ronald was in my DM saying that, like, what she was believing wasn't actually true, and then like she was showing me stuff, and it did seem as though, you know, he wasn't being truthful, but it also didn't seem as though he was up to things that maybe she believed he was doing. There's definitely a level of mistrust because of his previous issues with gambling. And so as he's trying to stay through and be good in recovery, I think there's concern about whether or not he's being truthful, whether or not she can trust him. They have a daughter together, so I can totally understand her sort of maybe overreaction to those sort of things. But I can also understand that maybe she's not overreacting because she has legitimate concerns, and perhaps in the past he hasn't been truthful. It's a bumpy road, but they do have a child together. When I had spoken with her a couple of months ago, she expressed to me how much she loved him, and he said the same thing about her. So if they can work on this and get back to a place of happiness, I really wish and hope them the best. I would hope that he can stay on his path and continue to do good things. And she's a mother now of 2 children, and he definitely needs to be in his daughter's life. So with her having previously been in South Africa, actually, heck, I don't even know if she's back. With her being back, or not even being back, it's hard to know, like, is she going to get back? Can she be back? I don't know. And then there's this question about, like, will he be able to become a citizen? Will she work on getting the spousal visa for him? Because right now they're married in South Africa, but they're not here in the United States. At the time on the show, she had to travel to South Africa due to some issues that were on his record. Now she says that his record has been cleared, so they were in the process of getting him his spousal visa so he could move to the United States. She's been pretty clear that she wants to raise her children in the United States, not in South Africa, because of the specific issues going on in that country. And it's definitely going through, it's not as safe. There's some travel advisories for people going to the country. So And she noted that on the show that when she was there, it was definitely a different life than what she was used to here. And she felt like her children would be safer in the United States. So with that being said, I hope they find their way back to, happiness. Hopefully they can work towards getting Ronald in the United States. Despite the fact that they had that public blowout, I will say that Ronald was like very respectful to me and kind. And so, I wish them both the best. I have more faith in this couple working it out than I do with Ashley and Jay. I do think that Ashley and Jay will be broken up before this is even over. And she's going to have to find him a place to live. Or I don't know. They're together for like 5 minutes. They are in love intensely and then they split. But I think Ronald and Tiffany have a much higher probability of sticking this one out. So what are your thoughts? Do you think like I do with Ashley and Jay that they're just going to break up again and this is doomed? And then what do you think about Tiffany and Ronald? I'm glad they worked it out. Very glad. And I'm not so happy. Ashley just wants to she's just addicted to the drama. There's probably a reason why her haters call her Trashly. All right, you guys, I'll be back later with more. Thanks so much. Bye.